So, in the latest level of my game, the player is locked in a cell, in a warehouse that is controlled by a mysterious cult. The only way to escape is by breaking this wall. A viewer had made this suggestion, so I did just that. Eventually, the player will acquire a disguise. The objective at this point is for him to blend in. There is an enemy at the end of this hall, and currently the player can just walk right past him, which isn't ideal. To keep the player on the intended route and prevent you from going past this point, I got to work on a suspicion meter. The idea is for the indicator to appear above the head of the enemy, showing how suspicious of you they are. So I created a widget that has a custom fill bar. I think a question mark is appropriate. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. I then implemented when a player is within a certain radius of an actor, it enables the suspicious meter. The closer you get, the more that it changes the colour to red and blinks more, warning the player. To emphasise the danger, I made it start smaller and get bigger the closer you get, and also added some ticking sounds. I added it to the actor in my level and connected it to my captured cutscene that I made in the last devlog. Now there is a consequence for getting too close, and I think it's a great way to stop the player from going in that direction just yet. I spent some time filling out the environment with more props and details. I have a time lapse on my channel of the creation of this torture room. Here's a before and after showcasing the torture room cutscene.
The torture room. It's starting to stink. When you are finished, go find Donovan Graves. He should be upstairs, inducting the new followers.
After the player has picked up the body, you are free to go wherever. However, it breaks the immersion of Arthur being in a disguise and under pressure. Just look what it does when you get caught by the suspicious guy. In a previous video, I created this invisible wall system to stop the player from going into an unintended area. Now I want to work on an alternative system. Something that I believe is done in Silent Hill is redirecting the player. This is what happens when the player goes into the suggested intended direction. Here is what happens if I head off in an opposite direction and try interacting with this open door. Control is taken from the player, and Harry diverts to what seems like a path that takes him to the next trigger. So I worked on something similar. I created a custom trigger that has path points for the player to follow. Now, when I touch the trigger, it automatically moves the player along a specific path. I also made the camera switch to a different angle. I think it feels more cinematic. Using this new solution, I think it feels more natural than just blocking the player. So, weapons that I have in the game so far are a knife, a baseball bat, and a pistol. It's about time I add something with more power. A shotgun. This weapon will be useful for the later part of this level. I really want to emphasize the cultist vibe for the top level of the warehouse. Here is a concept of what I aim for the scene to kind of look like. I started by blocking out the environment. There's going to be a shootout in this scene, so I want to ensure that the space is big enough. I then tested it out in game. The idea of this room is for it to look similar to a church, but more ominous. I textured everything up and added more environment details. I then added lighting to the scene to get closer to the atmosphere that I am aiming for. it just doesn't feel ritual enough. So I made a bunch of candles and candelabras to fit together in a modular way. I then placed them around the scene. Lastly, I created a new variation of the Cultist. I want to say a thank you to my Patreon members. Thank you for watching.